This is the Orioles POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the Baltimore Orioles. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Baseball is a fickle game. Any night, you can turn in the performance of a lifetime. Regardless of your past, regardless of your future, for one night, you can own the world. You can be the best player in baseball. Right-hander Brandon Young has had these moments where he has been brilliant, Mr. Incredible, and then lost it in an instant. And tonight, this Friday night, he had the O's closest bid to a perfect game since 1974. Welcome to the Baltimore Orioles POSTCAST. My name is Luke Slabaugh. This Friday night show here streams live to YouTube, available wherever you get your podcasts for free. No question, this has been one of the most exciting nights of the season. The postseason is but a dream for the Baltimore Orioles, and tonight they smother the Houston Astros 7-0. The longest start of Brandon Young's career, his first major league win, and the longest start of his career in general since signing with the O's as an undrafted free agent in 2020. This was a night to remember. Player of the game in this 7-0 win for 8 shutout innings, Brandon Young with his best performance as a Bird.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
Lumberton, Texas native Brandon Young turns 27 in 4 days. As fate would have it, he finishes 4 outs shy of the first perfect game in franchise history. Mike Messina mentioned several times tonight on the broadcast in terms of how close an Orioles pitcher has gotten to a perfect game. Haven't thrown a no-hitter since John Means in 2021. 11th start in the big leagues for Brandon Young. And the first 10 weren't spectacular. A couple of quality starts thrown in there. Had some bad luck against the Cubs in that loss. And 10 no-hitters in franchise history for the O's. Never a perfect game. We've seen flashes from Brandon Young. That immaculate inning against the Mets, remember, a perfect fifth, 9 strikes, 3 strikeouts. And the 5th immaculate inning in O's history is incredible. He was an Astros fan until 5 years ago. How did it happen tonight? Elite fastball command, 93 pitches, 61 of them for strikes. And there was a note on the broadcast tonight on Masson. Only 39% of Young's pitches prior to tonight had been in the strike zone. So he found a little bit extra, pitching close to his home, just outside of Beaumont, to really dig deep. If we want to work in reverse and talk about how this bid was lost first, we got to talk about the guy who singled and broke up the perfect game bid after 22 up, 22 down. It's 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. And who is up at the plate other than Ramon Urias? Traded to the Astros at the deadline, super utility infielder, a Gold Glove recipient, and as you'll recall, caught the final out of John Means' no-hitter back in 2021. The baseball gods are cruel. This was in fate's hands. Starts him out with a changeup. On the outside part of the plate, Ramon Urias fouls it back. And then a called strike at the top of the zone. Split finger fastball clocking in at 89 for a strike, 0-2. Sequencing of pitches is good for Young. He tries to go in, get him to chase at a splitter down. Ramon lays off. That bite at 89. Chucks a 4-seam fastball way outside at 95 for ball 2. And then a 2-2 count. It's even. Urias at the plate. Young goes to the split finger fastball again. 89. This is perfectly placed at the low and outside corner of the zone, tailing towards that left-handed hitter's batter's box. And it's a tapper from Urias in that patch of grass between third base and the pitcher's mound. Young comes up with it, barehands it. He knows that Urias likes to hustle, and in an attempt to break up the perfect game bid, Urias is booking it, and Young does not plant his feet. His shoulders are all over the place, and he throws it wild past first base. And that is why it is ruled as a single, and then Urias taking second base. There is an error awarded as well to Brandon Young, or at least knocked against Brandon Young. The out prior was also kind of in fate's hands. Yainer Diaz hitting a cutter out over the plate at 83 miles an hour, flies out to Ben Johnson. Daniel Johnson. Got football on my mind. Johnson had just moved over from center field to right field, and Greg Allen, the new center fielder, tried to call him off at the last minute. Johnson makes the catch. Allen collides with him. Insane stuff. And you go even a batter prior. An 0-2 count. Both pitches firmly in the strike zone, and then home plate umpire Chad Fairchild ejects someone from the Astros dugout, jawing audibly to try to throw Young off his rhythm or try to air grievances on the strike zone, which was pretty consistent tonight. Maybe a ball outside the actual zone that they have there on the telecast. The next two pitches are balls. And he gets Christian Walker to chase on a fastball outside at 95 to strike him out. If we go back to the very start, Brandon Young did have elite fastball command tonight. Had a handful of 3-ball counts, but never slipped and never gave in to pressure. The Astros did chase quite a bit. And the O's, for their part, since the trade deadline, have had the 4th best rotation in baseball. Kind of silly when you think about it. You had a surging Charlie Morton leave, and they were at a 3.01 ERA, the 4th best rotation in baseball since the deadline. And after the first 3 innings, 9 up, 9 down, Young was at 36 pitches. He was averaging 4 pitches per hitter. He was remarkably efficient. And a couple of strikeouts there in the third really showed some encouraging signs. Got Mauricio Dubon to strike out a fastball high, and then Cam Smith, the crown jewel in the Kyle Tucker trade with the Cubs, former Florida State product, swings and misses on a 3-2 count curveball in the dirt. In the bottom of the 5th, got Urias to chase out a splitter in the dirt. 15 up, 15 down with 56 pitches. Had some gamesmanship from Taylor Trammell there in the bottom of the 6th. The first pitch four-seam fastball high. Trammell tries to lay down a bunt, and Young makes an excellent play. Fields it cleanly and throws out to Kobe Mayo at first. A 6-pitch inning there in the 6th for Young. 6 strikes. Remarkably efficient. Bottom of the 7th, Jose Altuve gets a hold of a first pitch splitter, hits it right at Jordan Westburg, who was nails all night at the hot corner. Carlos Correa, recent reunion infielder, won a World Series or 2 with those Astros, lined out on a splitter low on a pretty pedestrian swing. And then a full count on Jesus Sanchez from a 3-0 count to 3-2. And when he was behind 3-0 in the count and a perfect game hanging in the balance, Brandon Young powers 2 four-seam fastballs middle, and eventually punches it low and in. A 97-mile-an-hour fastball low and in to Sanchez. He grounds out. Kobe Mayo throwing behind Brandon Young, who, in a great twist of alertness and gamesmanship, is able to catch the ball behind him and record the 21st out of the game. Brandon Young was on fire. This was an incredible performance from a pitcher that a lot of people had written off, myself included. You go back and you look at some of these episodes on this channel, YouTube channel or otherwise, if you're listening here, wherever you get your podcasts, there have been some mind-boggling moments. It seemed like he wasn't ready and did not quite yet have the composure. I was shaking in the final 2 innings of that perfect game bid, the 7th and the 8th. And you could imagine the heart palpitations that Young was having as well, with half of his town of Lumberton in the crowd. Tonight was a wonderful night. And we can talk all day about this. This is supposed to be a very limited show. So we've wrapped up Brandon Young. In the next block, we're going to talk about the offensive side of the ball. 7 runs against Framber Valdez and co. Impending free agent Framber Valdez, by the way. Seen his name pop up on this channel quite a bit in the comment section and in Connor's episodes. Encouraging signs from this O's offense. And we'll get into a couple of plays that I really liked, some good approaches at the plate, before previewing Saturday night's game. This is the Baltimore Orioles postcast. Please stick with us. Go ahead, leave a comment. Let me know where you're watching from, your thoughts, any fond memories of no-hit bids or perfect game bids in Orioles history. Tonight was magical. This is the Orioles postcast. We'll be back after this. I didn't need 5-hour energy to stay awake through this one, but man, you got to hear about transfusion. Grape, ginger, lime flavored shot brings the iconic taste of the golf flavored beverage with no alcohol. Whether you're out on the course or just need an extra push to power through your day, maybe you're taking a sales job in an unknown land. That would be great. Golf is all about good times with good people and good flavors. The grape ginger lime flavor of 5-hour energy transfusion gives you the best part without going for the bevy cart. Now you can amp up the fun even more. More fun than a Brandon Young perfect game bid? Absolutely not. Tee up that trip. Visit 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. No purchase necessary. Excludes the Masters tournament. Ends October 31st, 2025. If you buy, snap, and enter for a chance to win a dream golf trip, you can do that on 5hewin.com for full rules and entry. Thank you to 5-Hour Energy for sponsoring this show. We got one more sponsor today, and that's Monarch Money. A lot of expenses. If you're going down, you're watching your favorite team. Most people can't name all their financial accounts and even what they're worth. What am I worth? All of you, dozens, hundreds of you watching on YouTube right now. Monarch Money is the all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire life together in finances. Easy-to-use interface on your laptop and your phone. Monarch does all the heavy lifting for you. You can link all your accounts in minutes, see clear data visuals, and finally feel in control of your money without ever touching Microsoft Excel. For me, about touching, just getting rid of all those expenses. Whether it's, gym memberships I haven't used when I got ill, or, what else don't I use anymore? Don't use DoorDash. Um, I don't know. Life is good. Life is good with Monarch Money because it helps you out. Don't let financial opportunities slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONMLB at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. That's 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONMLB. All right, on to the show. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in here on this Friday night. This perfect game bid by Brandon Young being the headliner. However, he got by with a little help from his friends and going up against and outdueling left-hander Framber Valdez. World Series champion Framber Valdez. Remember, he threw over 200 innings in that 2022 campaign. Dusty Baker clearly hadn't learned anything about his trials with Matt Latos with the Reds and Mark Pryor and Kerry Wood with the Cubs and is totally cool riding a stallion into October. Those days have passed, and Framber Valdez is en route to getting a great paycheck in this offseason heading into 2026. Does he like Old Bay? Knock on wood. Great left-handed pitcher. And for the first 3 2/3 innings, it looked like Framber Valdez had the O's number and was going toe-to-toe. A couple of singles trickled in there, but in a shutout game, you have the rookie Brandon Young in his 11th career start. Man, that's what I'm talking about. Baseball just being this game of mystery. We don't get into superstitious stuff here anymore. I remember 2 weeks into the season and I was bemoaning the O's inconsistency, and someone said, "Hey, Luke, why don't you start talking about baseball and not giving us Roz Zander quotes? And why don't you take down the ad copy banner when you're 2 minutes into the second block?" I hear you. 2 outs in the top of the fourth. Kobe Mayo, first pitch changeup at the knees called for a strike. Fool me once, shame on Mayo. Fool me twice, ain't happening. Valdez goes in with that second pitch almost identical, and Mayo leans into it, put a charge into it into the Crawford boxes for his 5th career home run. 91-mile-an-hour changeup just blasted it, gave the O's a 1-0 lead. One of my favorite plays of the season, and my favorite play tonight, which is the turning point, comes with 2 outs in the top of the 5th. Or excuse me. Well, it started with 1 out, but the run scored on the second out. So 1 out, Ben Johnson, or Daniel Johnson at the plate. I got to stop listening to Bear stuff. Daniel Johnson at the plate hit this screaming ground ball up the middle off of Valdez's glove back to the catcher, who then tried to throw him out at first base, and it was an infield single. Jackson Holliday then gets a slider at the heart of the plate, hits it to left field. Johnson hustles to third base. So you got first and third with one out. Jordan Westberg then walks on 4 pitches. So you got the bases loaded, mound visit incoming, Gunnar Henderson at the plate with one out. He works the count to 3-2. All fastballs until a slider gave him the third ball there. It was a 2-2 count, then works it to 3-2. And then next pitch, lofted to shallow left field. Daniel Johnson there at third base, tagging up and challenging the throw from Jesus Sanchez. The throw is on time, skidding a little bit, but Johnson slides in, kicks off of him, kind of got him in the backside, and the ball deflects towards the backstop. Jackson Holliday is also tagging. Good, the throw didn't get cut off. He's rounding third base. When he sees that go to the backstop, he advances and scores. So what is a routine up in the air 50-50 sac fly ends up serving almost as a single by Gunnar Henderson. It counts as a throwing error towards Sanchez, which is very unfortunate because the throw was on line, just kicked away. So 2 runs score, which makes it a 3-0 lead for the Baltimore Orioles. Really good heart and hustle from Jackson Holliday and Daniel Johnson. A couple other things that I really enjoyed. Dylan Carlson hitting a home run, 3-1 fastball outside, 2-run blast, made it 7-0. And earlier in that inning, Jeremiah Jackson on a 1-1 curveball lofted a single to score Ryan Mountcastle, who had doubled right before him. Third consecutive game for Jeremiah Jackson with an RBI. This was great stuff. What a great team win. And the O's carry on. Tomorrow, they play baseball again. A 7-10 first pitch on Masson to left-hander Cade Povich. The baton has been passed. Povich had a quality start on Sunday against the Athletics. 6 innings pitched and 1 earned run. He's 2-6 with a 4.95 ERA on the season. And right-hander Jason Alexander is the scheduled pitcher for the Astros, 3-1 with a 5.02 ERA. That'll do it for us here tonight on the Baltimore Orioles postcast. I want to say thank you so much. A lot of people tuning in for the first time who had not commented before or had not been here on this live show. It's an honor to be here with you guys. And it's nights like this, guys and gals, where I really appreciate you. And before we go, I am not lacking here. This is a 3-game win streak for those Baltimore Orioles. Do I have that correct? We have a little tradition on this show. I did not forget. It was a covenant with you when the O's were scuffling earlier in the season. I just wanted to keep this show for the real when I show it to all those fine folks up wherever things take us next. But it is the bucket hat. I want to say thank you so much for tuning in here to the Baltimore Orioles postcast. Look forward to seeing you all here. Come back tomorrow night. Baseball is a game of randomness. Any given day, you can have the night of a lifetime like Brandon Young. Good night. Stay safe. And I will see you right back here tomorrow night.